Welcome to Company Havoc number 2. My name is Echo Van Grey Wolf, aka James Williams Jr. Okay, I gotta talk about it. It's sad to me that I have to make this kind of video, but I gotta talk about it. Um, Before I get started, let me apologize to 294 people who have followed me. My following opinion is mine and mine alone, and I'm a little upset. But y'all know I give you 99.9, and sometimes I give you the whole 1,000. And this is one of those cases where I can only give you 99.9 because I only have like a third of the facts. Alright, so as we know, and I will be the first to say it, the soldier that went into North Korea. When I first heard of it, the first thing I thought was, should I do a YouTube about it? And I was like, no, because I don't know what the soldier looks like. And the whole time I was praying, and I say this a lot, and I was like, just don't let him be black. Just don't let him be black. And unfortunately, he's a black man. So, that's a problem. Alright? Now, apparently this soldier has been in some shit. Alright? Again, I don't have full details, so I can't judge him for the shit that he has been in. But he's been in some legal trouble inside the military, and as a vet, I figured I'd chime in on this shit. Because it's not hard to get in trouble in the military. It's really not. Sometimes you can do the wrong thing at the right place at the wrong time, and your whole fucking career can be fucked. And in my case, I fell in a fucking hole. My career never got started. It was over before it began because my leg was fucked up. And that's pretty much where we are, which is why I only get $327 a month from the military. I had no intention of leaving the military, but bullets and beans cost money. I can't shoot, and I got hurt. So those are two things that I will have to live with for the rest of my life. But for the people who've made it in, and the people who are in, it's not a millionaire boys club. You have a job. Your job is to serve and protect foreign and domestic, So you're going to fight against the people who are against America, and you're going to fight against the Americans who are against America. When I found out this fellow was black, my feelings was crushed. I was literally crushed. Because y'all remember a few years ago when a North Korean defector ran into South Korea. He can never go home. No, he can never ever go home. I'm pretty sure that's not how this is going to work with the black guy. But of all countries to run into, he would have to run into North Korea. I don't know what the fuck this dude was thinking. I really don't. I don't want to know what the fuck this dude was thinking, because I can tell you this right off the bat. That was a bad idea. That was probably the worst idea he ever could have had. There's no guarantee that Kim Jong-un is going to let this man stay in there and stay alive. But there's also no guarantee that Kim Jong-un, whatever the fuck his name is going to unalive this guy either. But I don't understand why this American soldier would do that. And if you want to get out, there's ways of getting out of the military. There are legal procedures that you can get out of the military. I mean, you can be put out the military, or you can the fuck is the term I'm looking for? If you're a vet, please type the term I'm looking for in the damn chat, because I knew it, but I can't remember it. But there are ways you can get out with little to no recourse, and you can also get a medical discharge. I wish I would have known about the medical discharge instead of just being discharged, because I didn't know I could have got a medical discharge, because I thought it was just my knee. Fort Benning dropped the ball, and McGuire saved my life. So that being said, everything that's going to happen to me surgically is basically military connected. But this guy, man, I mean, if you really didn't want to go in, this is why I tell people all the time when somebody asks me about the military, I tell them, look, if you're 18 years old and you're going to come to me and ask me about the military, I'm going to tell you I didn't have a bad experience. I didn't have a great fucking experience, but I didn't have a bad experience. But I'm going to tell you right off the bat, it's not a place to play. You go into the military. Depending on what the fuck your MOS is, if you're dumb like me and get infantry, you're fucked. You're there till your goddamn contract comes up, or unless there's a medical thing that keeps you from making it all the way through. Or if you get hurt doing BC like me. But, if you're fully fit mentally and physically, then I would say, yeah, you can go. But I tell this to everybody, because I bet y'all thought I forgot that I said that, right? I tell this to everybody. Sleep on that shit for a year. Sleep on it for 2 years. But while you sleeping, carry your ass to college. Because when you get through college, you will have rank in the military. I didn't know I could have used my college credits, and I would have been in as an E3 because I had completed a couple of terms of college. I didn't graduate yet, which I just did back in May, but I'm 49. There's no way in hell I can ever go back to the military unless they give me a job as a trainer. And then hopefully they'll give me like E4, E5 pay because I'll gladly take that job. I would much rather be acting, but we can part time my ass. We can part time my ass. I can be training people on the weekends. Like, yo, let's go. But this young man, because I'm sure he's probably in his 20s, he fucked up. Now, honestly, truly to God, he fucked up. And this is what I tell y'all young people, man. If you're going to go to the military, you need to talk to somebody that's been in the military. You need to talk to an uncle, a family member. Do not go talk to your recruiter. Your recruiter has one job, and that is to get you to sign on the dotted line, take the ASVAB test, and off you go to boot camp. No. You want to go and literally find a vet that's been in the trenches. You want to find a vet, not like me, because I'm an honest vet. You want to find a honest vet that's been deployed a few times, somebody who knows how to fucking ins and out work. And you want to make sure that you do your motherfucking research, man, because you don't want to just jump in and find out, oh, I ain't supposed to be here. When I joined boot camp, there were a few people who fucked around and found out they weren't supposed to be here. There was a Mexican dude. He didn't speak any English at all. This guy, we had to have him on suicide watch, and he was doing all kinds of fucked up ass shit. And this is before I got through processing. This was actually in processing because we was in processing for 3 fucking weeks because they didn't have room for us downrange, and I was going in as Bravo and wound up being an Oscar. And then when we got down to Bravo, I was Bravo again. And then after I got fucked up, I wound up going to Delta, but I took a small stint through golf and had a little bit of an incident, and we will not talk about that incident. But I managed to get to Delta, and I found my home in Delta. Bravo, that drill sergeant, that's one of the motherfuckers, but that drill sergeant in golf, he can kiss my ass. And I hope that the karma got to both of them. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. But if you are going to join the military, you need to sleep on that shit for a year. You need to talk to a veteran. In fact, you need to talk to 5, 6 veterans. You need to find a place where go to your ROTC people. They can point you in the direction of veterans. If you're in high school, talk to ROTC people. They can point you in the directions of veterans. If you have a family to serve like mine, I talked to all my uncles before I signed up. The ones that are alive. The ones that went in. My Uncle Wendell, my Uncle David. Wendell was Navy, David was Army. So I got most of my good knowledge from Army. My Uncle Sam, we don't talk much, but when he found out I was enlisting at 37, first thing he said was I was crazy and stupid, but I was like, I need a job, man. So him and his son both went Navy. His first son, Sammy. So I didn't talk to Sammy because Sammy was in North Carolina, but I talked to my uncle. It's like, yeah, such and such. I talked to my Uncle Robert, who passed last year, and we talked about Army. And both my Army uncles told me exactly what the fuck to do. They said, first, you're going in as a fucking senior citizen. Second, you know when to shut up, so just shut the fuck up. That's pretty much what I did. And I didn't have to keep my head down because everybody knew who I was because I was the oldest soldier in the whole goddamn platoon. And so in the whole company, outside of the like one of the drill sergeants, like in Bravo, Drill Sergeant Robbins was older than me because he was 42. But Drill Sergeant Stoner and Drill Sergeant White, they were younger than me. They were barely like 30, 32 years old. When I got to golf, pretty much the same thing, except for my 2 drill sergeants were doing everything they can to punk me, and I don't handle bullies very well. That's why I didn't want to talk about that incident. And I almost got discharged illegally, and I didn't care at the time because I wanted to kill the motherfuckers. So then they found a place for me to go. They found me a home in Delta. I never wanted to leave after I got to Delta. I was like, nope, I'm staying in Delta. I'm gonna do everything I can to get through Delta. And then one of my battle buddies fucked up, and my leg got re-injured. And then I got on fucking whatchamajig, and I didn't qualify with my rifle, which is why I got put out because I can't shoot worth shit. But I couldn't lay on my leg, and we couldn't figure out what was wrong with my leg. And the doctor never came back, so I was stuck on that. And it's like, well, dude, I gotta qualify. And each time I had to try to qualify, the good Lord seemed to have different plans. And so I didn't want to leave the Army outside of a body bag. I tell y'all this because it's the truth. I wanted to die in the Army so that I wouldn't die in nobody. You know. And so this young man, I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. I don't know why he would think that it would be better to be a POW in a country that might not like Americans at all versus just take your bumps and bruises with the American team. You can get out of the military. There are ways to get out of the military without fucking getting a dishonorable discharge. There's ways to get out. There's a mental health disability way to get out. There's other ways that you can get out, especially since they're all about making sure that PTSD becomes less of a problem for the military. There are ways you can get out. You just don't have to be a fucking dick about it. And he clearly didn't know that. And I feel bad for the guy because he's in Korea. When I was going to boot camp, everybody wanted to be assigned to Korea. I knew that I would never get assigned to Korea unless I went active first because I was National Guard. National Guard, your state is where your ass is at. So unless my company or platoon in Virginia is deployed across seas, my ass is in Virginia. Now, I can volunteer to go with any other platoon because I was that guy. It's like, well, they literally told me if you are a National Guard, you can volunteer to sign up with any other platoon other than your state. You just gotta do some red tape diving. And I was like, oh, I can do that? It's like, yeah. It's like, okay. And all my plans were set right there. The motherfucker said we can get deployed as infantry anywhere we want. Yes, except for if you're guard, if your platoon or company is deployed, then you have to go back with them. But you can volunteer to go with another company anywhere. And I was like, all right, cool. That's what I'm gonna do. Then my leg got fucked up again. So that fucked up everything. Then I couldn't qualify my rifle, which fucked up more things. But you can get out of the military. You do not have to do anything stupid to get out of the military. You just really got to talk to people, find out how you can get out and get an honorable discharge and get all your goddamn benefits and shit. Which again, I'm going to say this respectfully. The military ain't for everybody. Which goes back to when I tell people this, like, well, I'm thinking about going to the military. I said, well, okay, well, as long as you're thinking about it, think about this. Sleep on that shit for a year. If next year you feel like you really want to go, give it another 6 months. It's like, are you trying to talk me out? No, I'm going to talk you in. But before you make the fucking biggest mistake of your life, you really got to want to be in the military. You can't just go to the military because everybody else is doing it. You can't. You have to want to be in the military. It is not some billionaire cookie cutter boys club. It is not. That shit is serious as a motherfucking heart attack. And you have to take it seriously. You can't just go there, oh, well, I'm going there so I can be like Rambo or the next G.I. Joe or Commando. No. If you're going there for that, you are going to get killed. And you're going to get somebody else killed too. We have battle buddies for a reason. So you have to understand, if a person like me or anybody tells you to sleep on it, think on it for a year, it's not because we're being an asshole. It's not because we're trying to talk you out of it. It's because this is a fucking $1 million decision that you are going to make. Your life is not the only life that is in danger with you being in the military and not wanting to be there. Alright? And this is why I say this, because I didn't get to go the way I wanted to go. I didn't want to fucking leave the military. I wanted to stay in there until I died. Because clearly my acting career is touch and go. But I know that if I'm in the military, there's a probability chance, because I got infantry, I'm not coming home. But if I don't come home, my body's going to come home. My family's going to be honored. I'm going to be honored. I don't have a legacy, but I will have what I had. And I found mad family in the army, yo. I found mad family in Bravo, Fusco and Low, and the Black Navy guy whose name, I'm sorry, I forgot you, brother. I found mad motherfuckers that love me at Delta. Done. Keep your head down. Bradley, I know you're out there. Fucking, my 3 drill sergeants. Miskwa, Aztec Warrior, Drill Sergeant Onberg, and Drill Sergeant Haynes. Y'all stay strong out there. By now, they're probably about to retire. Because I was way older than them when I got there. Drill Sergeant Farusco. It all my butterfingers in front of me. Every fucking one of them. Hey, I'm not mad at him. It happens. He explained why it had to happen. He said, any other time, because you're like the same age as me, I'd let you get these things, but I can't break no rules, brother. And I was like, I got you. I told my mother not to send me them damn things. Because on the thing I said, joking, we can't have it. She obviously didn't read the motherfucking letter. Anyhow, I had a good time in fucking Delta, man. Delta was my home. I would love to actually see all those guys again. There wasn't a person at Delta Company that didn't like me, that I knew of to my face. There was quite a few people in Bravo that didn't like me. No. Especially that dude from New York. Him and like maybe 2 other people. But fuck them. And Drill Sergeant Stoner. Other than that, Drill Sergeant Robinson and Drill Sergeant White was cool as fuck. But Drill Sergeant Stoner was just a douchebag full of dick tips. But he also was an ex-Marine, so I guess I gotta give him some slack. Because I'm all about the Army. Any fucking how. No, it is what it is. It's over now. There's no need to dwell on this shit. All is forgiven. But like I tell people all the time, you have to want to be in the Army. You gotta want to be there. If you don't want to be there, don't sign up. Don't even bother with the ASVAB test. I mean, if you take it and get a good score, you're probably going to have a great life in the Army. Because if you get some shit up in like the high 70s or the hundreds and shit, or the 100, you're going to have a great career. You're still going to go through BC. You're still going to get taught how to survive. But you're going to have a great career. Versus my dumb ass is infantry. They taught me how to kill people. I wouldn't recommend infantry to anybody. No, unless you're fucking like sadistic and don't mind trying to take somebody's life. I didn't want infantry. I wanted to have a police officer job, but too stupid for that. But I got infantry training. I've been paranoid since getting in the military. It took me like almost 2 years to stop checking the house, to stop walking around the perimeter of the house. Sometimes I still catch myself getting ready to do it. But I learned a lot. Found family that treat me better than my own biological family, man. I wouldn't take it back. I wish I would have got in when I was younger, because I've been trying to get in the military since I was like 19 years old. Between that and the UFC, those are the only 2 things that really mattered to me. Because at the time, I also didn't want to be an actor. But now that all I want to do is be an actor, I'm pursuing it with everything I got. But the thing was, man, when I joined the military, I also had my heart broke. My movie was stolen. Everything that could have went wrong was all happening right then and there. Everything, everywhere, all at once. That's no bullshit. It was all like right there, slapping me in the face. I was like, okay, if I go to this Army, it's a good chance I might not come home. That weighed on me for about 5 seconds, because I said, come home to what? I don't have kids. I don't have a girlfriend anymore. Movie career's not happening because the Millennium Studios is just not doing what they said they were going to do for the actors here in Virginia. And then fucking, I was so depressed I had to go, I got there, I was depressed. I found family when I was in processing. When I became an Oscar, I was 11 Oscar first. I don't know why. I guess they just assigned us that for whoever does processing. It's like, you guys are 11 Oscar. And when y'all go down range, you'll probably be 11 Bravo. And I was like, okay. I don't even know what the fuck Oscar is, but OS, like the Oscar Mayer hot dogs. I was 11 Oscar first. Then I was 11 Bravo. Then I was 11 golf for like maybe a day and a half. And then I was 11 Delta, but it was still Bravo. And that's when I learned out that we in National Guards was nasty girls. I knew it was nasty girls. I just thought it was just soldiers like everybody else. But apparently, you have your classification of soldiers. You have your Rangers, you have your Green Berets, you have your Special Forces, and then you have your Grunts, which is basically what we infantry are. And then as a grunt, as a National Guard, I was a nasty girl. If you're a reservist, I forgot what they called them, but the real soldiers were the soldiers. The regular army basically were with the dog faces, and we were the nasty girls, and the reservists was whatever the fuck they called them. But again, I tell y'all, man, you have to want to be there. If you don't want to be in the army, once you're down at Fort Benning or wherever the fuck you get assigned to, you ain't going home. I mean, you can eventually, but you ain't going home. And it's not like you can spend the night and train for a week like actors do and go home. No, fuck that. You belong to that place that you are stationed, and you need to get over it because you're theirs until your fucking contract. As a National Guardsman, I only have 3 active years and 5 inactive, and you can pull them whenever you want. So as soon as I got there, once they told me, I said, well, I'm pulling my 3 as soon as I get home. I'm 3 active. Now, the good news about National Guard, 2 weeks a year. Every first weekend of every month, 2 weeks a year. And at 37, I got to pick. So I was like, okay, well, here's how I want it. First 2 weeks in June, y'all belong to me. First weekend of every month is how I wanted to be assigned. And it was like, all right, well, when you graduate, that's what will work out for you. It's like, I don't get like no pushback on that. I said, dude, you're 37 years old. You think these motherfuckers gonna push back on you? You 37 years old. They be happy that you there. So you 37. You know what you gonna do when you get home? You probably gonna get fucking guard duty. You probably gonna walk around the post with your motherfucking rifle, point it down all goddamn day or all damn night or whenever the fuck your shift is. I explained to me, I was like, all right, cool. I said 9 times out of 10, unless your entire company is deployed or the unit in which you are assigned is deployed, you ain't going nowhere. And if you do get deployed, well, you deployed until you're not. They explained it to you. They explain everything to you. And this is why I say it. And I'll say it again. I'll say it 10,000 more times until everybody understands it. You have to want to be there. You literally have to want to be there. And if you don't want to be there, don't. That's why I said sleep on it for a year. Sleep on it for 2 years. But sleep on it. Because if you don't want to make a costly mistake. You don't want to get yourself killed. And more importantly, you don't want to get your battle buddies killed. Because that's going to be the thing. Access TV. That's going to be the thing that's going to make you or break you. And you don't want to hurt your battle buddies. And you don't want your battle buddies to get hurt. You don't want anything to go wrong while you're there. You really don't. And I hope this thing is still recording because something just popped up on my screen. And I don't know what the hell it is. I'll deal with that in a minute. Okay, we're still recording. Anyway, you really want to make sure that above all else, against all odds, that you are there because you want to be there, and you're there because you need to be there. You don't want to just go to the military just because you ain't got nothing better to do. It doesn't work like that. It can work like that for some people, but I almost can guarantee you sign on with the Marines, the Air Force, the Army, the Navy, Space Force. You belong to them until your contract is up. Like I said, National Guard, sign on for 8 years. 3 years active, 5 years inactive. Now, when you're inactive, they can activate you even though you've done your 3 years. Again, they sit you down and explain this shit to you at Fort Lee. Alright? Before they ship you off to wherever they're going to ship you off, they will explain all this shit to you at Fort Lee. They explained it to me at Fort Lee and welcomed me with push-ups, and next thing I know, I had to take an ass rib like 5 or 6 goddamn times before getting shipped off to Fort Lee. I mean, out of Fort Lee. Um, it was okay, you know, and you won't gonna be fucked up, you know. You just do what the fuck you told, you know. Don't do what the fuck you want. Do what the fuck you told, and then you will realize your worth. And I found a purpose to live when I joined the army because I was 1 foot away from unaliving myself. And y'all might not want to hear that shit. But like I said, I don't tell you guys no lies, man. Had I not joined the army, I wouldn't be here. I would fucking be dead. I found family in the army. I found friends and family in the motherfucking army. Alright? I didn't get to serve the way I wanted to serve. That's the only part I hated about having to leave. Is that I wasn't done. I didn't want to leave. But I was done, just not me. To this young man's family, I am sorry that you are going to go through some serious shit within the next couple of months. Alright? I'm going to say it because nobody else probably will. I'm going to say it right now. You're going to go through some serious shit. Alright? And stay strong, and I wish you well. But I will tell you right now, your child fucked up. And now y'all gotta all fucking pray and do shit. It's probably not something that you're used to. Because he's been in the military, so the praying is something that never fucking stops. But for him to do something this insane, it's not helping him much. And now he's in the hands of people who might not be that fond of Americans. Hopefully he can be alright. I want to end the video on this. And I want y'all to listen to me. I want you to hear what I'm saying, but more importantly, you need to listen. The military is not for everybody. The military is not a billionaire boys club. The military is not the Boy Scouts. It is not a weekend giveaway. You will learn shit in the military that you cannot unlearn. You will be taught things in the military that you cannot be untaught. And you will probably see more things that you can't unsee. Boot camp's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. And actually, boot camp's probably the worst part. But after that, get a good assignment, get a good job. You're good. You just gotta get there. You just gotta get there. And in closing, one more motherfucking time. If you are thinking about going to the military, and you're only thinking about it, then you sleep on that shit for a year. Sleep on it for 2. Don't sleep on it no more than 3, because after 3 years, your ass ain't going. Alright? And I say that with my full chest. After 3 years, if you slept on that shit for 3 years, you just go ahead and quit, because you ain't going. That's why I say you sleep on it for 1 or 2 years, you still got that fire in your body, that I'm going soul, you're going to go. And if you sleep on it for 3 and you got that fire in your heart and you going, you really want to go, then you'll go. But if you don't, within the first year, you'll know. Within the second year, you should know. Within the third year, you know. Now, I wish, and I say this posthumously, I wish there was a way that, like, if you wanted to really go to the military would open up a mini boot camp for fucking, like during the summertime. Like, from June to July. Not the whole month of July, but, like, from the beginning of June. Like, June 1st to July 5th. Alright, and the reason why I want to give you 5 days in July is because after that first 30 days of you doing everything that is expected of you by your MOS, you will know if you want to go. And don't get me wrong, they may paint you a perfect picture of how it's going to be. But once you belong to them, you're going to live in reality of how it actually is. So again, sleep on it for a year, sleep on it for 2. Don't sleep on it for more than 3 unless you know for a fucking fact that's where you want to go. You have to want to be there. Otherwise, you will find friends, you will find family, but you will also find misery. So therefore, I'm Echo from Grey Wolf. This is Come Forever number 2. Pray for the soldier that fucked up. BC